600 Irish companies export to Canada, supporting 25,000 jobs.
Bigger than you might expect.
I thought it would be a smaller number, yeah. 74 Canadian companies are operating in Ireland, supporting 15,000 jobs. 14% of the Canadian population, some 5.6 million people, claim Irish ancestry, which in percentage terms is more than the United States.
Wow.
But the Irish Canada Business Association says that Ireland is over-reliant on American companies. Deirdre Giblin is the chair of the ICBA. Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day, Joe.
And
Shane.
Do you guys do anything special on Canada Day?
Well, in Ireland, the Canadian Ambassador Smile hosted a fantastic party last Thursday, which was amazing. But in Canada, it's more about community and family.
So there's no parade or everyone getting steaming
like
drunk?
Day. And the Canadians don't get steaming drunk.
Okay.
They have lovely Canadian ice wine, but they don't get steaming drunk.
Now, let us start with the notion that Ireland is over-reliant on US companies. We know that. I mean, that's not a newsflash. But do you want them to become more reliant on Canadian companies?
It's not reliance, it's about diversification. And we know post-Brexit, the government have implemented quite a good strategy around that. But we commissioned a report with Jim Power, the economist, last year. Jim delved into the figures, brought them up to date, and basically said there's an opportunity here now to increase the bilateral trade between Ireland and Canada by 50%.
Okay.
It's a huge opportunity. The government are aware of it, and we need to make sure our members, we represent 100 members, companies between Ireland and Canada, that in particular that the facilities and the whole environment for doing business in Ireland, particularly bringing Canadian companies in here, that we improve upon that. So we've done a member sentiment survey in the last few weeks, and they've come back with not startling results, but copper-fasting what we already know, which is the fact that the cost of doing business in Ireland is getting quite prohibitive. We have companies who have come here from Canada and have had to pull out and go back to high-cost places like Vancouver. And they've left Dublin, and we're going, why? Why is this?
Is Vancouver cheaper than Dublin?
It's not necessarily cheaper, but there's probably more pro-business in the way that they have
Are you saying
facilitated.
it's anti-business here? Are you worried that it is?
Not saying it's anti-business, saying there are things that can be done to improve the business situation.
Housing?
Housing is one of them. It was actually a bigger issue last year for our members than it is this year. This year is about the cost of actually doing business and the cost of labour. So we have 80% of companies who are going to, Canadian companies in Ireland, who are going to increase wages this year, and 50% who are doing recruitment. The cost of recruitment, the cost of labour. Also, companies are very much looking at the well-being, the upskilling of their staff. They're doing the right thing. But the cost of doing those things is actually getting more significant.
Okay, now can you give us an idea of some of the Canadian companies that are based here that we might know?
Absolutely. So Couche-Tard is Circle K.
Okay.
Great West Life is Irish Life.
Mm-hmm.
We have Sun Life. We have companies you mightn't have heard of much, like Greenfield Global, who are more about life sciences. But then you have Irving Oil down in Cork. You have Sun Life in Waterford. You have Celestica. So the good thing is we have a regional spread. When you look at the IDA bringing companies in, it's not Dublin-centric. Mm-hmm. They are moving around the country. Financial services is huge. So Bank of Nova Scotia, Bank of Montreal, Toronto Dominion Bank.
But they wouldn't be dealing with customers. They're dealing with fellow bankers.
Fellow bankers, absolutely.
Yeah. Would Canadian companies have the scale if they're, if our reliance, if we are to wean ourselves off the Americans, would the Canadian companies have the scale to ramp up?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, the scale is there. There's no doubt about that. And the willingness to do business. To me, and I've learned this a lot in my role as chair of the Ireland Canada Business Association, is that diplomacy and the political environment very much are supportive of the business growing between the two countries. Mm-hmm. So we just need to keep tapping into that. One of the untapped opportunities is tourism. We feel that tourism into Ireland is not being promoted well enough in Canada, and we need to do more about that. We can absolutely bring more Canadians.
Paging Tourism Ireland?
Paging Tourism Ireland, who do an amazing job. And I meet them at all different events around the world. We just think, and it's less to do with the people in Tourism Ireland, but it's the infrastructure. So definitely there's more opportunity there.
Okay, well, have a great Canada Day for the rest of the day. That is Deirdre Giblin, the chair of the ICBA.